Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about something that honestly took me a long time to understand. And once I did, it completely changed how I think about building businesses. It's about this idea we all chase when we're starting out. You know, the dream of finding some unique idea that no one has ever thought of. Yeah, turns out that chase, it's totally overrated. So let's get into it. When I first got into indie hacking, I was exactly like most people. I thought if I could just come up with the perfect mind blowing idea, everything would just fall into place. I spent days, weeks, even months scribbling down ideas in notebooks, brainstorming at odd hours, dreaming about finding that one golden ticket. And every time I Googled an idea, I found out someone else had already started building it and I got disappointed. And I would move on. I would think, damn, I need something more unique. This is someone is already building it, so it's game over. Does that sound familiar? If you're anything like me, or honestly, like most people starting out, you've already been there. But here's what I learned the hard way. Chasing a unique idea sounds exciting, but in reality, it's actually a trap. You see, the real winners, they don't usually win because they had the most unique idea in the world. They win because they understood a problem deeply. A real problem, one that needed fixing. And that's where something called niche domain insight comes in. It's just a fancy way of saying you understand a small area of life or work so well that you spot problems that others are not looking at. And that's it. Now, let's just talk for a second why chasing uniqueness can actually mess you up. First of all, if your idea is too original, you don't even know if people want it. You're basically guessing. You're putting a ton of time, money, and energy into something that maybe no one even cares about. And if no one knows they're having a problem that you're trying to solve, you'll have to educate them. You'll need to convince them. And trust me, convincing people that they have a problem that they don't feel yet, it's very slow, it's very painful, and super expensive. And then there's the worst part. When you think your idea is totally unique, you start to believe it has to be absolutely perfect. You get trapped into this mindset of, oh no, I can't launch here because it's not ready yet. You tweak, and eventually you just stall out. It's not fun. So, what works better? Well, it's going after niches. It's solving real, boring day to day problems. Problems that you know exist because you've felt them by yourself. When you work from your own work experience, everything becomes easier. And you already know that the pain is real. You know exactly who feels the same pain. And you know how they talk, what they care about, and what they're struggling with. It's like speaking the same language as your customers from day one. Plus, the big bonus, you're not competing with giants because big companies, they will usually ignore these small, boring problems, which means that's your opportunity. Actually, let me tell you about my friend Samir. I think his story really nails this idea better than anything else. So, Samir used to work as a project manager at a construction company, and every single day after wrapping up his site work, he would sit down and manually format reports like hours of moving stuff around in Excel, fixing PDFs, emailing updates. It was soul crushing. It was very boring, repetitive work. At first, he thought it's just part of the job. You know how it goes, you just have to deal with it. But then one day it clicked to him that if I hate doing it so much, maybe there are others who do too. And he started asking around. And guess what? Pretty much every other project manager in his network had the same problem. But here's the kicker, no major software company was building any solution for them because honestly, construction reporting for a small niche market didn't seem big enough or glamorous enough for big companies to pay their attention. So Samir decided that he would build a simple tool. It wouldn't be anything fancy, but he would use a no code platform to do it. And he ended up using Fuzen to build his first prototype without any coding. It just automated a lot of those boring, painful reporting tasks. And then when he shared it with a few people, they absolutely loved it. A bunch of them started paying him around maybe a couple of $100 a month to use it. And then maybe after a couple of months, he had five customers, then 15, and then maybe a few $100 a month. The ball started rolling. He didn't get any $1 million funding. His product didn't go viral, but it still solved a real problem, a small but painful real problem. And it solved it really, really well. And that's exactly the point. You don't need a unique idea, you just need a useful idea. You need a relatable idea, and you need an idea that hits someone's real everyday pain. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but how do I find these niches? Here's what I would suggest. First, look at your own life. What tasks make you want to pull your hair out? What processes feel broken, messy, and time consuming? Then, second, jump into communities. Go to Reddit, check Reddit threads, Slack groups, niche forums, listen to what people are complaining about. You'll be amazed by how many pain points are just sitting out there waiting to be solved. You can also Google stuff. Look at what solutions already exist. And then if you find nothing or stuff that's out there but it's outdated or clunky, bingo, you probably found an opportunity. And then finally, just don't make mistake of overthinking it. Start build something simple, use no code tools if you can. The faster you put something out in the real world, the faster you'll know you're onto something. The faster you'll get some real world feedback on your idea. And just to back this up with some real stats, Crunchbase Insights did a study and found that around 35% of all startups fail simply because there's no market need. That's what happens when you chase a cool idea but forget to check if anyone actually wants it. And also, Harvard Business Review says that deep domain expertise massively increases your chances of success as a founder. So, yeah, this is just my own opinion, but the data backs it up too. All right, quick wrap up before we close. Please stop stressing about finding the perfect world changing, never before seen idea. Instead, look for small real world problems around you and solve those problems. You don't need to serve millions of people to build something amazing. You just need to serve maybe a few hundred people really, really well. Indie SaaS, no code apps, side projects, they're not about winning the lottery. They're about solving the little things that drive people crazy before anyone else does. So, next time you're annoyed by something in your own life, don't brush it off. That could be your next SaaS. That could be your next income stream. And who knows, it might just change your life. So, all right, that's it for today. I hope you found it useful. Do hit the like button if you did. It really helps the channel. And if you spotted any small annoying pain point in your world, tell me about that in the comments. I love to hear your ideas. See you next time.